All right, it is week 9 of the NFL season. Yes, already the halfway point. I'm picking all 14 games on the slate this weekend against the spread. Not the best matchups in the world, but some very interesting lines whatsoever. Let's not waste any more time and hop right on into it. Okay, first up, a little Thursday night showdown in South Beach. The Baltimore Ravens traveling to the Dolphins. Ravens laying 7.5 points here, and Lamar Jackson will be starting at quarterback for said Baltimore Ravens. Didn't really matter last week against the Bears. Ravens covered anyway with Snoop Huntley. Dolphins coming off of a beatdown of the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think anybody had that one out there. Not even the most optimistic Dolphin fans saw that one coming. So this is a perfect spot for a letdown. Short week for Miami. Miami's run defense is bad. They did a good job against Bijan, but still a bad run defense in the season. Ravens going to pound the rock. Lamar back out there. I think the offense opens up a bit. And the Ravens defense actually been better the last 2 games they've played. So I'm liking the Ravens. I think they cover. We've seen a lot of points scored on Thursday night. And if the Dolphins can't keep up, this one gets ugly like last Thursday in LA. Give me the Ravens minus 7.5. Okay, the Chicago Bears traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. Bears laying 2.5 points here on the road. The biggest question mark here with this game is Joe Flacco going to play? Has an AC joint sprain. Tough spot for him. I know the Bengals just lost to the Jets because their defense is atrocious, but the offense has been really good under Joe Flacco at quarterback. Gets the ball to Jamar Chase. He'll throw it to him 57 times a game. I don't care who else is out there. T. Higgins, 2 targets and 1 touchdown. Jamar Chase, 57 targets over here. So Bengals getting 2.5 points here at home is interesting. The Bears are bad. Caleb and the offense sucks. Caleb has not been good. The defense has been feasting off of turnovers. I like the Bengals if Joe Flacco can play and stay healthy, but that's too much of a concern. Jake Browning in there could see some turnovers where the Bears have feasted this year. So I'm going to take the Bears minus 2.5, but keep your eye on the quarterback situation. All right, my Minnesota Vikings are traveling to the Detroit Lions. Lions coming off a bye. Vikings coming off a 10 days rest. Naturally, J.J. McCarthy back, making his 3rd start of the season after missing 7 weeks with that high ankle sprain here. And this is just a bad spot for the Vikings. Lions coming off of rest at home and playing a home game prior to the bye. This team is well relaxed, well focused, and they still have to keep pace with the Packers in the NFC North. This is a huge number, and these games are usually very close and competitive, but the Lions do love to open up a can of whoop ass at home. They are a very much front-running home team, so I think this one could get ugly early just based on the offense. Vikings struggle to keep up, and the defense for Minnesota has been weird this year. Give me the Lions minus 8.5 as a home dominating team. Okay, the Carolina Panthers traveling to the Green Bay Packers. Panthers getting 12.5 points here on the road. I'm thinking Bryce Young is going to be the starting quarterback for Carolina this week. God bless us if it's Andy Dalton again, even though I think he is banged up as well. Packers looked pretty good in that second half against Pittsburgh, but they've really struggled to blow teams out this season. They've played a lot of ugly, sloppy games, the offense in particular, but this is a great Packers defense, especially against the run. Maybe some vulnerabilities in that secondary, but Carolina has to run the football to be effective on offense, and they've run the ball at the best rate in the NFL basically this year. I'm going to take the Packers minus 12.5 here. I think they aren't going to be able to get the run game going. Bryce Young is banged up in his foot, not going to be as mobile as he needs to be. The pass rush for Green Bay is relentless, and the Packers at home, obviously a very good team, and the Panthers are pretty terrible on the road. They're only competitive at home. So give me the Packers minus 12.5 in a blowout. Okay, the LA Chargers heading to Tennessee, and the Chargers are laying 9.5 points here off of 10 days rest. This Titans team is so bad. They are the worst team in the NFL. Cam Ward has developed a lot of bad habits now. He was already kind of he was the first quarterback in this draft, but he would have been like a 5th, 6th guy in the year prior's draft. Titans are bad. They're poorly coached, even without Brian Callahan in there anymore. Chargers are feeling good. They're getting healthier. Offensive line getting back into shape. Love the Chargers in the spot. Chargers need to keep winning games and winning games comfortably to keep this playoff push rolling. Give me the Chargers minus 9.5 here at Tennessee. Okay, the New England Patriots hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Patriots laying 5.5 points. Falcons getting 5.5, coming off an embarrassing loss at home to the Miami Dolphins. Now it's looking like Michael Penix is going to be the starting quarterback for the Falcons this week. Because if it's Kirk Cousins again, hammer, hammer, hammer the New England Patriots, man, he looked washed. And then he has the audacity to demand a trade because he wants to be a starter. Bro, you are horrible against the Dolphins out there. Now, the Patriots really haven't been tested much this year. Second easiest strength of schedule to date, and they have the easiest remaining strength of schedule, or vice versa, I can't remember. Anyway, Patriots have played nobody, but Drake May has looked excellent playing nobody, which is a positive sign overall if you are a Patriots fan. At home, and this team is impossible to run the football against. They are an elite run defense. Falcons have to run the ball to be successful on offense. Give me the Patriots at home, -5.5. Okay, the San Francisco 49ers heading to the New York Football Giants. And the Giants have been feisty this year. The Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbu combo was electric. Pour one out for the homie Cam Scatterbu. His ankle's gone. He's out for the season. This Giants defense, though, good pass rush, good D-line, but they are atrocious against the run. This is one of the worst run defenses in football. Brock Purdy slated to start for San Francisco here. There's not a whole lot of weapons out there. The wide receivers are still super banged up, but Christian McCaffrey, by the grace of God, is healthy and can run the football still. George Kittle back really helping the run game. They had a weird game against Houston last week. I'm not going to look too much into it. The defense is a bit concerning, but only laying 2.5 points here at the Giants. I'm taking the 49ers here. I know it's a cross-country trip, but the Niners are just a better playoff caliber football team, and the Giants, the vibes are bad, man. The vibes are absolutely horrendous now after the Scatterbu injury. Okay, an interesting one this week. The Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Colts laying 3.5 points here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 4-3 now. And honestly, the offense for Pittsburgh has looked pretty good this year with Rodgers the last few weeks. He's throwing the football well. DK is his guy. They aren't getting much going in the run game anymore, which they really need to do. The problem with the Steelers is if they get behind the change, if they're in 2nd and 9, 3rd and 7, they're in real trouble to convert for that first down. Whereas the Colts are one of the best offenses we've seen this century somehow. Somehow, Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, best offense ever. This Pittsburgh defense is horrendous. They can't stop the run. They can't cover the pass. They are just so bad. I think the Colts are just going to have too much firepower in this one. I think it's going to be a weird game, potentially like a fumble, a missed field goal, a block kick. All the Steelers stuff that happens in Pittsburgh is going to happen, but I think the Colts are just flat out better than the Steelers. I'm going to take them to cover the 3.5. Maybe a close game, might be at that 4-point range. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if the Colts win this game by 10+. Okay, probably the second best game of the weekend. I think the Denver Broncos traveling to the Houston Texans. A battle of two very good defenses here, and a Houston offense that's been very inconsistent, but they've had 3 good weeks out of their last 4 weeks. Defense has been great. Denver, on the other hand, another offense that's been kind of lackluster, but the defense has carried them. But the Broncos are going to be without reigning defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain. That's going to create a lot of holes in the secondary. Their DBs outside of Surtain are not very good. They stick Moss out there. Jahdae Barron has been kind of a disappointment as a first-round pick. Houston kind of found a little bit of rhythm last week with CJ Stroud. Now, can they protect? That is the big question here. Denver is the best pass rushing team in the NFL. Nick Bonito has been a monster out there. I did like that they got Woody Marks involved in the passing game as well at running back. I think the Texans defense is going to be good enough to grind this game in the dust, and Houston's offense will find a way to score just enough points. I like the Texans here in a close one. I'm going to lay the 1.5 points here, but I think Denver's due for a little bit of a slip up after walking a tightrope for a few weeks. All right, the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams coming off a bye. God help us, both of these teams. We don't know what to do with them. Vegas is terrible. Jacksonville's terrible. Trevor Lawrence has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL this season. He's insanely inaccurate. Brian Thomas Jr., whereabouts unknown. I mean, he's got the yips and he doesn't have communication, and he's just off the flat earth over here. I don't know what's going on with Brian Thomas Jr. But Travis Hunter, though, rookies off of the bye, are tending to get bigger plays. They get more involved in the offense. We've seen this historically throughout the NFL, and he had a good game in his last game against the LA Rams. Whereas Vegas, without Brock Bowers, they're pretty terrible. Ashton Genty is nice, but the offensive line is bad. Geno's bad. Worst offensive performance maybe this century. Last game against the Chiefs. 3.5 is a little scary of a number. It's pretty big. So I'm going to take the Raiders plus 3.5 points here at home. I don't like it. I think the Jaguars are going to win this game, but I think in typical Jags fashion, they win this game by 3 points or something stupid like that. But I don't trust either of these teams. I'm actually feeling weird that I'm even picking the Raiders in this spot. Okay, the LA Rams coming off a bye hosting the New Orleans Saints, and Tyler Shuck is slated to make his first career NFL start after getting some action last week. And you know what? Wasn't good against Tampa Bay. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Puka Nacua going to be back for the Rams here. This is an easy one. Rams minus 13.5. It's a good number. It's under 2 touchdowns. It's a big number, but the Rams, I think, are going to just blow out the Saints here. This is a terrible Saints team. They can't run the football. God bless us with a quarterback making his first start who's 56 years old. Give me the Rams in a blowout, dominating Sean McVay off a bye fashion here in week 9. Okay, the game of the weekend, the yearly rematch we see. The Bills are hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Buffalo 5-2, Kansas City 5-3. Both teams want this one. Now, historically, the Bills have dominated this matchup in the regular season, and the Chiefs dominate this matchup in the postseason. So this is an interesting matchup this year. I think Kansas City, though, is a little bit different of a beast than we've seen in years past. This team is clearly better than the team last year that won 15 games and won the Super Bowl. The offense is so much more dynamic with Rashee Rice out there. The problem is these games do tend to get into a shootout. The Bills defense is terrible, and the Chiefs defense is actually pretty decent, and they get better each and every week. So if this game gets into a high-scoring affair, I do think that benefits the Bills a little bit just because they're used to playing in them. But this Chiefs offense has opened it up this year. They are scoring 28 points more than they did all of last season. They just put up points again. They're explosive. They're nice. Travis Kelce still fat, still distracted, should have retired. But I just like Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. Want the running game to develop a little bit more. I'm actually going to go with the Chiefs here, laying 1.5 on the road. Think this is going to be a great game as usual. I just think there's a little bit more stability on the defensive side for the Chiefs, and I trust their offense to hang with the Bills no problem. Okay, Sunday Night Football, the Washington Commanders are hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle coming off a bye. Washington coming off of a short week road Monday night game. Probably without Jaden Daniels, already ruled out Terry McLaurin for this game. Again, that holdout has tanked my man's season over here. Seattle's defense has been excellent this year. They're one of the best defenses in football. Offense, Sam Darnold in particular, was pretty bad against Houston, but doesn't matter. They're good enough effectively, and Washington's defense is terrible. They can't stop the run. They really can't cover people either. I love Seattle in this spot. I think Seattle drums this team. Commanders are a bad football team. They're 3-5. They're easily going to be 3-7, I think, over the next 2 weeks here. So give me the Seahawks laying 3.5 points here on the road, cross country. Like that it's a Sunday night game across the country, so the body clock isn't as impacted. Give me the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. All right, and on Monday night, we have the Rod Tidwell Bowl. Show me the money. The Dallas Cowboys hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona coming off a bye. Cowboys laying the 2.5 points here at home. Think we're going to get Kyler Murray back at quarterback, and is that a good thing for the Cardinals? Because the offense actually looked a lot better with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback somehow. And the Cardinals defense has had some moments where they've done a good job slowing teams down. Now, they've been bad in the second half against teams, not getting stops. Cowboys offense is elite. Their defense is horrendous. This is going to be probably a high-scoring game again. But here's a rule with Dak and the Cowboys. Cardinals 2-5, sub-500 team. Cowboys win these games. They don't beat 500 teams. They beat sub-500 teams. Expect a nice bounce-back spot for the offense who played pretty poorly against Denver. I like George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb to have nice, big breakout games. So show the Cowboys the money. No Arizona upset. I'll take the boys. Minus 2.5. Okay, and to recap, I got the Ravens laying 7.5 on Thursday night. I got the Bears minus 2.5 at the Bengals. I got the Lions minus 8.5 against the Vikings. Packers minus 12.5 against the Panthers. Chargers minus 9.5 against the Titans. Patriots minus 5.5 against the Falcons. 49ers minus 2.5 against the Giants. Colts minus 3.5 at the Steelers. Texans minus 1.5 against the Broncos. Raiders plus 3.5 against the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars win this game. Rams blow out the Saints, cover in the 13.5. Chiefs minus 1.5 at the Bills. Seahawks minus 3.5 at the Commanders. And the Dallas Cowboys get the job done with minus 2.5 on Monday Night Football. But that's going to do it for us this week. Let me know down in the comments below, who's your team? What are your favorite picks for this weekend? If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool and exclusive perks. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. Check out the links down below. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.